Pro Group Racing presents Show Us Your Tips. It's Epsom Day, one of my favourite days racing of the year. Daggy and Beaver with you to look forward to a big day of 4 Group 1 races, 1 down at Flemington, 3 at Randwick. Beaver, what's happening, mate?
Oh, mate, just living large. Got the feet up, ready to one more day's work before we get into the festivities of racing with Randwick and Flemington. There's a couple of big race cards.
Yeah, some fat cards at both venues, some tricky affairs. We've got the babies stepping out for the first time, and Group 1 fillies, as well as the big Group 1 Mile, Epsom, and a Group 1 staying contest, and the clash of Incentivise and Verry Elleegant later on down at Flemington.
Looking forward to that one.
That's a ripper. Let's kick off at did we get much out of midweek apart from there's a couple there? Much better. Got up at a nice price for us, but
$10. I think you were on that one, and I think we got a few early doors again. I think it was an okay day.
Yeah. So it's your first time you've jumped on board. Check out progroupracing.com.au for their free tips and extensive guides. We're here twice a week for midweek and weekend racing with our regular previews. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well as you'll find our shows Spotify, iTunes, and everywhere good podcasts are found. As I've said, let's kick off at Randwick, where the rail is in the true. I think we got most of the rain that was going to come through today. I think there's a bit of mizzle around the next couple of days, but I'm working on a basic dead track, maybe a good, worse, just slightly better than a soft. So, typical Randwick. Any other opinion?
No. I think that's the way to play. I guess you probably got to err on the side of caution and think that those on pace, particularly early in the day, may get a few favours. Given the way it played last week, I'd be loath not to probably go leaders inside-ish early on till something changes.
Yeah, well, back to Randwick's a little bit. Helps out a little bit, and I think any moisture is probably a good thing in terms of bringing the pack markers into it. But we kick off with the midway over the 1,000 metres, benchmark 78. And do you want to open the batting here?
Yeah, I'm happy to open the batting here, mate. I'm going to go with the favourite here, Capital Rain. Only had the 5 starts for 4 wins, 3 out of 3 this preparation. Looks pretty foolproof. When it comes to where this horse will get to in running, it'll lead, and they'll have to run past it. And if there is anything favouring those on pace, this will get full advantage of it early doors. Super hard to beat. I think it's got a little bit of potential.
And good to see Alicia Collett in town. See how she stacks up for the day. Excited. She's been killing it out wide, so excited to see what she brings to the table with the big boys here. I understand it being favourite. I mentioned Alicia. Might be one shot, one kill here. Look, I've had 3 looks at Ashima in this race. Just missed the start a bit at Wyong there and ran home pretty well. I've got a feeling the backing distance might suit here. You'd want to obviously be able to make ground as you've raised a concern there, but went through some good stuff last prep. A decent enough return after the sluggish start, and fresh for this, I think will run well. And I think Oh Please Don't is doing pretty good things now since it's been with Annabelle Neesham. Yep. I liked its last win. I like J-Mac on. I like the fact it's probably going to be stalking Capital Rain. And I'm looking to play those 2 each way from Capital Rain. Just want to see it perform in town before I get super excited at the price.
Yeah, I thought Ashima was a nice run last start, but again, I just speculating that from gate 9's probably going to go back and might just give him too much start.
Yep, no problem at all with what you've come up with there. We get into the gym crack for the 2-year-old fillies here over the 1,000. Have you had the time to go through these? Or?
Not with a great deal of depth. Look, the favourites based on its trials, even money, a little skinny, but they've got a bit of an opinion of this. $300,000 yearling, half sister to Rian, trialled really well. Probably the pick of the bunch that day. It's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, it was a very nice trial. I like JMac going on. They've got it. The maps all don't mean much yet. They've got it mapped pushing forward from gate 10, but we'll see how that pans out. But favourites have a pretty good record in this race, actually. So I think the market's about right, particularly for the girls. I think it has most of them covered. So on top, no real tricks from me, but looking forward to seeing how they all step out. The boys' version is the Breeders, race 3, and a couple here at odds I'm happy to spec, just once I've seen the prices. I'm respecting the market order here, but Master Showman was $26. Trialled pretty well under wraps, making ground on Resonator, the Gerald Ryan horse there. I think it can run well. Just looking at it now, it's been backed actually. And the blue colours down the bottom, Spacewalk. Interesting, it's the only blue colour baby for the day, the Dali. I thought it trialled all right. Gate 13 is the concern, but it was $15 when I did the form, and I'm happy to have a little spec there as well. So there's a couple outside the market, but very interested to see how they all stack up. The Gay horse will run well. Kaboo was a nice trial, but I think there's a bit of pressure. There's more pressure in this one than for the girls. So yeah, inside gates there might mean better runs for Resonator and Master Showman. Did you have any thoughts?
Tricky affair again. Look, I kind of led towards the Busy River. I know I got beat by Victory Moments in the trial, but I don't think Waller tends not to show all of what these horses have got in those trials. I thought it was a good enough trial.
Yeah,
it was very green. $1 million horse, so you'd hope it'd have a bit of ability. Just based on the odds around the $6 mark, I'm happy to lean with that. But again, yeah, there's plenty of chances here.
interesting those colours with Waller. They must have moved on from the Snowdens.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll move on from this race to race 4, which is a benchmark 88 over the mile, which is basically the rematch of half of this field from 2 weeks back, where Kiss the Bride led the whole way under Nash, loses Nash now. Tricky to split because I don't think you can stamp Kiss the Bride, so I'm saying Randwick brings Big Boy Roy closer to him, but I think the market's about right. I think they're the main two chances. Not that interested in the Taxu form, and there's a bit of a tail. So I've got the top two in the right, 1 and 2, but I'm just not quite sure which order. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I was quite surprised that both of Kiss the Bride and Big Boy Roy are around $5, and then you got Taxu $5.50, Cordia $7.50. Like you've got horses like Five Kingdom, Almahaha, sort of 9s and 12s. I thought they'd be a little bit tighter in the market given their last start efforts. Look, Kiss the Bride's drawn 12. It's going to go forward, probably take up the lead. Again, pending track, if there is any favouritism to leaders, then probably does the same and wins again. $4.80. I think it'll probably start a bit shorter than that. And Big Boy Roy might just have too much to do again, and I don't know that it can make up the 3 lengths at the weights.
Yeah, Monsu Sisu is the only. I think if Kiss the Bride gets control, then it's the same result. If something like Monsu Sisu pushes forward and is a bit of a pest, then might swing the other way. But I just felt a bit of cut. Probably suits Kiss the Bride, to be honest with you, the Savabeel. But yeah, I'll back both of them. I'll back Kiss the Bride and save Big Boy Roy, and I think that percentage is a pretty good chunk of the race. Race 5, the Yulong Hill Stakes over the 2,000 metres at Group 2. What are you doing here?
Yeah, good little race, this one. Small field of 7. I do think there is only 3 chances, the main 3 in the market. The rest of the market, I just can't get interested in, and I'm sharing ambition's probably an outside chance. Look, think it over at even money is as short as you'd want it, but its form, this preparation has been pretty good for the calibre of this race. It can sit up on speed. It can lead, and has plenty of ticker. I've lent to it purely based on the form of the horses it's been racing. Duas I really like as a horse. I think it's got plenty of potential, and I really like the last run of KI Nautique. I thought it was pretty good. So really hard to split. I'll probably go for Key High Nautique at the price, $5.50. Just over, think it over. Just looking a little bit outside of that, I think Duas will be probably looking for a little bit, probably looking for 2,400 or getting prepared for that. Second up over the 2,000 might be just not quite ready yet.
I would have been. I only just saw this now, but I would back Duas in the Epsom if it was in that big sort of
field.
Completely irrelevant because it's not, but it's sort of horse that can bob up in an Epsom second up fresh, over the mile. Whereas 2,000 here, I think it over is just going to go straight to the front. Nash is going to do what Nash does, and they're going to jiggy jog for 1,000 meters, and he'll start ramping up and be off and gone. The other sad thing is these are our weight for age horses. There's just not any weight for age horses around. And I think it over's flying. I'm pretty happy to back it, to be honest, just because it's going to get complete control. I respect what you said about KI. I don't think the big field suits, and the same with Duas. They're both just going to run on and look good running into places. Probably 6 lengths behind. Think it over when it takes off on top of the bend. Maybe 3 lengths. 6 might be too many, but just race setup is perfect for it here, with no pace and the best leading jockey or best on-pace jockey in the country. So anyway, let's get to a much more interesting race 6 of Premier Stakes, which is weight for age sprinters. A clash of Rothfire and Masked Crusader out of the lead up here. Who are you jumping on board?
Yeah, another sort of pretty small field here again. Again, a little bit of a tail at the bottom of the market here. One of those could bob up, but it'd be hard to find which one of the sort of bottom 4 that might pop up. So you'd be just throwing a dart there. Look, I think the smaller field suits Masked Crusader and back to Randwick. It was never a chance last start. Got way too far out of its ground, and they were just too slick up front with Nature Strip and Eduardo. I don't think it'll be as far off these ones, and hopefully it can produce the finish that it had first up. So looking for Masked Crusader to bounce back. Rothfire ran well last start. So if it reproduces that, it'll probably run the Quinella. Hard to see the others beating either of those two.
The more I looked at the Rothfire run, that was a complete barrier trial. It was just, it never, with the pace up front, I don't think he ever really went after him to chase. I think they were happy with the hit out, and I think he went through his gears quite nicely. I think he could lead this race if they really wound up. They might be one more run into the Everest, so maybe not here. So I assume Jonker and Adelong will try and set a pace here. As you say, if they jiggy jog, Masked Crusader's got the best sprint. If they do spread out a bit, I'd be keen Rothfire. Unfortunately, I don't know which way that's going to go until after the race, but I think Rothfire's here to run better than it did first up, and I think it's going to be very hard to beat. But I guess what we're saying is a gap in the market there's lost and running. Are you done with that horse? At this level?
I'm not done with it. I just think at this level, look, it was winning well previously, but they were midweeks.
100%, yeah.
So this is a big step up. Until it does something in better races, I think it's still a bit skinny at $5.50. It should be $9.50.
I think it starts double figures. I could see Embracer starting shorter and it starting longer. The rest of them and Jonk will start close to that as well. I think the City market will get rid of that pretty quickly, but I've been wrong before. I Am Superman. It's been gelded. maybe not the race for this, but has some very good fresh runs to its name. Whatever that means. Let's get to the quaddy legs, which is the first of the Group 1s, the Flight Stakes. A race for good horses. It was won last year by... Where's my notes? Does you have this ready to go? Going well tonight. Won last year by... Who was it? Beat Hungry Heart. Montefiore, of course. Before that, Funstar beat Probabile in the past. More Joyous, Streamer, Samantha Miss, Guelph have all won this race. Are there any of those class horses here? I'm not sure. Look, I've been against the Sydney mares all the way through. I've kept plotting this form line, so I've finally got a non-Sydney mare I can back here. Star Tontes came down. It's had a bit to do for a 3-year-old, is the main question mark, but it's a couple of really good wins in Queensland. Came down on that track last week, gets a quick backup, has a fantastic turn of foot, and I think it could give these Winburn. And the other bet I'll have in the race will be Von Trapp, who was just starting to go through its gears late at 1,400 metres. Might be a run too soon, but keep an eye as we head towards an Oaks. I think it might be a nice horse. They're the two for me, Beaver. You have been on Star Tontes all the way through. What are you thinking?
Yeah, well, I can't jump off now, mate. No reason to. Its 3 wins that it had in Brizzy were good. Came here last start, and again on the leader bias track, got a bit out of its ground, but I thought it still hit the line quite well. Only finished 2 to 3 lengths off the
winners.
The
line with Artorias. It's fair. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's a good form line for this. So I'm going to stick with Star Tontes, but I do have a really good liking for number 12 Fangirl, around the $15 mark.
Yeah, yep.
It was a fantastic win last start. I think they were really keen to get a win under its belt. So it went to Gosford and ran well, but then Goulburn was outstanding. Won by 5 lengths and was just really let down really well. It's Waller trained, but he can produce these types of winners. Don't let it under your guard at around $15. So I'll be certainly having a bit on it as well.
Yeah, agree. Definitely a number for the quaddie for sure. Because I think anything fresh here is good. Or anything fresh to this lot of mares is good. The Group 1 Epsom feature of the day over the mile. Won last year, as we prognosticated 12 months ago by Probabile. Before that, Hartnell, Colding, Happy Clapper, Winks, Boban, Superimpose, Thesio, Desert War. Great little race. One I'm excited to bet in. Do you want to have first crack?
If you'd like me to, I'm happy to have a crack here.
I don't mind.
Yeah, no, all good, mate. Narrowed it down to a few here, obviously, being a pretty open market. My own top selection's Hungry Heart.
Yep.
I think this sets up really well for Hungry Heart. Drawn well, down in the weights, 52, third up. Showed improvement last start up to the 1,600. So getting out to the distances that Hungry Heart likes. Bit of pace on here. It'll handle the track. And I think Hungry Heart's a really good chance in this. Ready to peak and ready to show its best form. I thought Private Eye was good last start. Was caught wide after and had to do a lot of work and still went across the line with a tissue and looks like Elvis and the likes again in a sort of leader-dominated track. And I haven't ruled out a tissue. I think it's a huge chance with only 50 on its back.
Hate to say it, if it had a different jockey, it'd be clearly on top of tissue.
Yeah. Drawn a little bit wider, but look, again, we know a tissue is a bit versatile. Got well out of its ground 2 starts back and flew home for 4th, and then they rode it closer on a track where you had to be closer last start, and it fought really hard to the line. The weight relief here is just huge. I think that's what brings it right into this race, only carrying the 50.5. Certainly around, not far off the $20 mark. I won't be letting it under my guard, given I've backed it all 3 starts this preparation. So I've got Hungry Heart on top, with specking a tissue, and Private Eye I wouldn't leave out.
Mo'unga on top for me. I love the draw. I love gate 13. I love the fact it ran the Melbourne Cup favourite to a head, or is it Cox Plate favourite, or whatever, the next coming of Far Lap to a head. I love the fact it beat Verry Elleegant before that. I like the fact I'm getting $8 because everyone will be scared of the weight. And a lot of these down to weights just aren't very good. These are Saturday horses at best. Keen to back it, and also keen to back Hungry Heart. You've nailed it. I think the setup, it absolutely smells like a Waller setup for this race, and happy to have that. I'll be backing that, and I'll be backing a tissue at the price at the 20s as well. And pretty keen. I think we've covered the chances there. Private Eye, it's been the goal as well. You mentioned that. I don't have much more to say because I'm not interested in anyone else. We've both left the favourite out. You're just too hard leading this sort of field over a mile. Is that you? I know Gay's, if anyone can
coming
do it,
from
get the Gay horses, but yeah.
Coming from gate 15, having the lead all the way, and ran well sort of these 5 runs this prep, but hasn't won. And based on that, I'm happy to leave it out because it hasn't won.
Yeah. I think I had it second pick in this race last year, actually. And it's done not a lot since, bar that the 2, runaway wins in weight for age races where if you're on pace, you're going to go close to running a place anyway. Yeah, cool. I like the analysis there. Good luck to, again, Carol. Harmony Rose goes around again. Hopefully has a bit better luck from the draw and runs well. And I don't have much more to add, as I said. Yeah. Good leg of the quaddie again. Race number 9 is a Group 1 Metropolitan. How's this for a collection of horses? Well, everyone knows I'm going to put on top, so I'm going to talk about my other pick. I think Montefilia is building nicely to this, but it is Montefilia, and I want to see it actually win a race. It's been about a year, but 2 very good runs in return. But the other one I want to talk about is Entente, who I just noticed is actually equal favourite, but is on the third run in 3 weeks, is fit and firing, has the only 2,400 metre lead up in this race, and is going to be pretty close to having control. There's not a lot of pace here. Ladonda and Pondus are probably the only other real pace in the race. I think it'll run really well here, Entente, under Tim Clark. So, Entente from Montefilia for me. What are you thinking, Beaver?
I'm going She's Ideal.
Okay.
I think the 3 runs in this time, have been pretty good. I think it now gets out to the 2,400. We know She's Ideal. The further they go, the further it likes it. Fantastic last splits. First up, and then sat closer to the speed last time, just behind the pace. And when it opened up, it sprinted clear and could have won by more, but wasn't extended. I think, again, slightly different here. Would have liked a nicer draw than 15. Probably has to get back this time. When it sat a bit closer to the pace last time. So it's probably going to give a horse like Entente a big start. But which worries me a little bit. And so, but having said that, Entente had a dream run against a fairly weak opposition last start. So I'm not convinced that form is quality form, albeit that it was impressive.
I was more using that as a barrier trial tick over than saying it's going
to spread it was weak. It was weak opposition.
Yeah. Cool. We finished the day with a 1,200 metre benchmark 94. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm going to give Big Parade another chance here.
Okay.
Third up. I didn't think last run was that bad. Out to the 1,300, I don't think was as suitable as back to the 1,200 here. But I thought it certainly stuck on well, and Embracer and Chat's flying and running in better quality races than this, and Embracer is the same. It's in a much better quality race earlier in the day. So it was only less than a couple of lengths off them. I'm willing to suggest it can bounce back from that run and find the form that it's had a few starts back. Gets back home to Randwick and hard to beat.
Yeah, the back to 1200 definitely suits. It wouldn't surprise me to win if it wins this race by 3 lengths, but I'm saying Marway's a bit of a problem for it. I'm saying it doesn't get the easy lead it likes, so I end up looking to the Bjorn horse Prime Candidate, who's going to be right behind him. J-Mac on 2 nice trials, and might just be Johnny on the spot if the 2 leaders, potentially 3 leaders with Volpine there, tear at each other, and it can potentially be there to poke its head out at the end. From Star Spangled Radio, who will definitely improve second up. And I've just had Quantico going through my head then as I was looking back through the market as well. But the 2 Bjorn horses in the last for me but like I said, Big Parade will run well here, I think. Do you want to do the Sydney quaddy or the Melbourne quaddy, Beaver? I'll give you choice.
You can do Sydney, mate. I'll go to Melbourne.
Oh, all right. Thanks, mate. Let's kick off in the first. Let's take these horses on. 5-star Tontes, 8 Von Trapp, 12 Fangirl, 13 Never Been Kissed. In the Epsom, 1 Moanga, 6 Hungry Heart, 10 Arameo, 12 Private Eye, 13 A Tissue. In the Metrop, 1 Spirit Ridge, just because it's 30s, 8 Montefilia, 10 La Donda V, 12 She's Ideal, 14 on Tonte, 20 Zarek, 1 Big Parade to wrap us up, 2 Prime Candidate, 4 Star Spangled Rodeo, and the favourite 12 Gravina. I think that should pay nicely if we have a bit of luck. For progretracing.com.au, your best and value at Randwick on Epsom Day.
Yeah, my best comes up in race 6, number 1, Mars Crusader. And my value bet comes up in race 9, the Metropolitan, number 12, She's Ideal.
Very good, Beaver. My best, I'm going to make it Moanga. He's going to run very well in the Epsom. So you can put back-to-back Epsom bests on the table. And my value in the last to be Prime Candidate, number 2 in the last. Let's get down to Flemington, where the track is dead. There's looked a fair bit of rain around Melbourne town today, but I think it's Flemington's escaped most of it. And I don't think there's a great deal there. The rail's not true. It's rails in a 9, did I say? I hope I said that. It's Flemington. It'll be fine. We know what we're getting. We are kicking off with the Race 1 Maribyrnong Trial Stakes. It's been a long day. After doing the 2-year-olds in Sydney, I did not spend a great deal of time doing these ones. Did you?
No. Looking at these pretty even lot of the unraced brigade, I'll let this one slide because it was just too hard to line them all up. Follow the money.
Yeah, we'll see how that pans out. Race 2 is the Group 3 Superimpose listed race, for the 3-year-olds. Over the 800 metres, this is a very ordinary race. I like the resumption of Gunstock is all I can really say. Am I that keen to bet in this race? No. So that's all I have to say. I think the favourite to run well. What have you said here?
Yeah, I like Hirasu.
Yep.
That's how you say it. Hitotsu. Something like that. Look, I thought it was good first up as well, breaking its maiden status at Donald. Prior to that, it started in some pretty good races. So they must have a bit of opinion of this. It was in the Prelude, Blue Diamond, not the Prelude, the Blue Diamond, behind Artorias and Ingratiating, and 3 lengths behind General Bow and Animo. So it started in some pretty good races and hasn't let itself down, not being that far off them. Resumed, won well. I expect it to run well here as well.
The colours are going all right. If you're going to tack onto some colours to follow, may as well be those ones. So, cool. The Group 2 for the fillies, the Edward Manifold Stakes, is race number 3. This is an over-inspiring affair either. I'm actually going to go to Clary's horse, Mokalua. Didn't have a great deal of luck coming through the T-Rose. Ran on quite well late in the piece there. Has gone down here. I think out to the mile definitely suits. Mum could run a mile plus very well, dear Demi. She was a good horse. And I'm going to... I'm happy to back it at double figures. I don't have a big opinion of the rest of them. This is a midweek race apart from that. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm hoping Yearning goes to Melbourne because if it does, I'll be backing it around the $8 mark. Yeah, it was good last start. Let down nicely at Newcastle. Was well found in the market. Actually got out a little bit. Opened odds on and got out to 6-4, but won like a 6-4 chance. Interesting that if they do take it to Melbourne, I'll be backing it.
Cool. Yeah. Definitely. It's. I think that's stronger stuff that it's come through. Race 4, the Gill Guy over the 1,200 metres. A lot of these med in the Bobby Lewis a couple of weeks back. Zatori now starts favourite. It started $8 in that race. Is that people looking at the weight swing? I don't understand the reason.
I guess it is. It is, and Zatori obviously goes well down the straight.
That all being said, yeah, I'm tipping Zatori. It was a nice enough return. Not so much based on the weights, but second up, there's 3 wins, and its other runs second up have been in Group 1s, essentially. Some really good runs in chasing the likes of your Bivouacs of the world. If it springboards like it has been, it will run very well here. Away games flying, and I guess Splintex did win the lead up there. So, yeah, it was Zatori on top for me. What are you thinking?
I'm going to stick with the away game. I'm going to talk with my kick here. I backed it last couple of starts and had unlucky seconds. I'm hoping it can turn it around and get some money back here in a fairly open race. Yes, Zatori does worry me. It does fly down the straight and goes well. I'm happy to leave Splintex out. It's had its win, and hopefully away game turns the tables.
Excellent. Race 5 is the Danehill, again up the straight. Group 2 for the youngsters. Are you going to try and get your money back on ingratiating?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I think this is a fantastic race, to be honest. Really keen to watch this race. I think there's some horses that'll come out of this and win some decent races. I'm going to stick with ingratiating purely on the basis that I think it just switched off last start. It got to the front and just, for some reason, just switched off. Halfway down the straight at the 200 when it was going past them, it just looked by how far and kind of went past them and just didn't seem to be interested.
Blinkers back
so I'm
on
hoping
probably suggests that as well.
Blinkers back on. I'm hoping Ollie doesn't get to the front too early and this unleashes and wins. I thought General Bow was very good last start, so I think they may try and ride it a bit cold again, and rather than on pace. And there's one down in the market around the $12 mark that I'm really got a bit of an opinion of, and that's Mornington Glory.
Mm-hmm.
So it was long odds on at Bendigo and won like a good thing. And I reckon this horse has got some ability. So if I do back ingratiating, I'll certainly be saving on Mornington Glory.
I've got ingratiating on top. I like the blinkers going back on, and I like it switching to the outside fence, outside at Flemington there. I think 2 ticks, and I think Ollie will be aware of it all now, as you've said, and we'll make sure he just sticks his head out that bit further for us. And I think you'll probably get... I hope there's not a big go. I think the price will hold up well enough through Saturday anyway. But yeah, some good race. Talented horses, General Bow, Bruckner, Ranch Hand, and Randveer at the double figures will be better for the run as well. You mentioned Mornington Glory, so... And they do have an opinion to give me pass. So a cracking race. Looking forward to seeing it pan out. But I think Ingratiating is a good horse, and Blinkers on definite tick. The Mares Group 2 over the 1400 metres, the Rose of Kingston. What have you got here for us, Beaver?
Yeah, this is an open race and a tough race.
Yeah.
It's a good field, to be honest. There's some good horses on the rise here. There's a couple of horses here that might be getting back to their best. The favourite, the jury was out on, probably did enough in its first run back to.
Yeah, I gave that a good pass mark.
Yeah, it was a good pass mark. Do I want to back it? Probably not. But I wouldn't want to talk anyone out of it. Anavisto is a horse I really like. I think it's on the way up. It's third up, so it'll be at its peak fitness for this. Gate 14, I would have liked to see it drawn a bit better as it steps up into this quality, but it'll go forward and look to take up the pace or be just enough near it. So for that reason, got Anavisto on top. If you've got Anavisto on top, you've got to give Ecumenical a chance. It ran a close second last start and was a good win, a good run behind the winner. And you're getting around 20s. So one's at 5s, one is at 20s. So I wouldn't be leaving it out. And Instant Celebrity, I think it can bounce back and run well again. It got too far out of its ground last start when it was hard to make ground. Again, these are the types of races that does bob up in. So Anavisto on top, and safe on Instant Celebrity and Ecumenical.
Yeah, I struggle with this race. I end up I couldn't bring myself to put Mystic Journey completely on top, but I think it's back. I'm against Instant Celebrity. I'm a little bit sick of it, but I do like the jockey change. I think a fresh jockey there is a good thing. And I was against Anavisto, a leader going up in grade. Just had a bit of concern how well it's going to handle the 14 here. So I end up having Odium on top. Trial was fine. Coming back, has done some good stuff, fresh in all its preps. Probably now needs to do something, and would almost, if I don't see it this week, I would almost be happy to forget about Odium forever. So Odium from Mystic Journey for me, and definitely, like we said about Ecumenical, because I think it just gets that sort of sniper's shot there, the last run, and it's quite good at getting up and under those horses at times. Race number 7, the Turnbull Stakes over 2,000 metre Group 1, Incentivise Verry Elleegant, and a couple other cameos as well. What are you doing?
I've got to go Verry Elleegant. It's a horse I love. Just its will to win is outstanding. Last start was very good. I know some people were nervous last start, but at no point did I ever think it wasn't going to run the leader down.
Yeah. It's funny because I thought it was a fantastic win, but I wasn't nervous. I was just impressed. It was a weird feeling.
Yeah. It was, because I was like, it's just going through the gears. It's going to let down here in a minute. It's going to let down, and it just did, and it was just switched back to the inside. Gate 5's a perfect draw here. Damien Lane can put it wherever he wants to, and hard to beat. Incentivise, look, it's you can't knock it on its last win.
Absolutely,
it was very good. It looked halfway down the straight that it was going to get beat, and it did kick back and win nicely, but it kind of kicks back on a horse like Tofane. So I don't know that Tofane actually got the 1600, because Tofane pulled up on the inside, and I think probably almost got in front. And I was on Tofane, and I thought, oh, how good's this? It's got this beat, and then it kind of condition just gave out over the last 200. Incentivise kicked back. The further they went, the more it liked it, and some of the others just flushed late. But yeah, it was a great win, and there was a lot to like about it. But true test, I think if Incentivise beats Verry Elleegant, it comes into almost unbackable odds for the Caulfield Cup here.
Yeah.
It would shorten right up.
So are they going Caulfield Cup, both of these, or are they going Cox Plate? I don't know.
I don't know. What's the market saying?
I'll have a look. For the record, while I look this up, I'm with Verry Elleegant too. As I said, loved her last win. I think she was well underdone first up. I think she, just looking at the pace here, she can almost be ridden straight on Incentivise back and take the shot whenever she wants, really, because there's not a lot else. I don't think she gets too cluttered up behind anything. I think it's nice and straightforward. We might finish this and then have a look at the futures.
Yes.
Actually, I'll get lost here.
Yeah, well, Incentivise is $3.50 favourite for the Caulfield Cup.
Yeah,
and Verry Elleegant's $26. So you would expect Verry Elleegant is not going to the Caulfield Cup, given $26.
I would expect that.
And Verry Elleegant is
surely you'd get
$7 second favourite for the Cox Plate.
Surely you get better than $4 incentivising a Caulfield Cup on the day. Surely.
Well,
who else is going? That's it. I'm about to bag every horse in this next staying race, so maybe not. And I don't think there's a lot. Nothing coming from overseas, is there? All the new restrictions.
So Caulfield Cup, your second favourite's $11, which is Colette. So you can see why it's $3.50.
Colette,
Nonconformist, Delphi, Duas, Floating Artist. Floating Artist would be huge. That was a huge win. Last start, it should be tighter in the market. It's a huge Caulfield Cup hope.
As I just mentioned that Incentivise is too short for the Caulfield Cup, I'm looking at the Bart Cummings, and Incentivise would probably win this race and start $3. So whatever. This is a terrible race. I'm sick of all these horses. I don't want to talk about it. So I'm going to tip Shiraz, the French horse for Chris Waller and Damien Oliver, at $6. It doesn't have to be that good to beat any of these. And I'm going to have something on Kalani at hundreds because at least it's not as tainted as the rest of these. And instead of being months between runs, it's only a couple of weeks between runs. Off the 2,500 metre lead up, it's been out of its ground both times. I'm hoping it might be ready to go, and happy to find out at $126 as it is on my screen right now. What are you doing here?
Doing the same as you, mate. Shiraz for me. Oliver's aboard. Waller has got this horse produced first up here over 2,500. Won't have to be outstanding to beat these lots. So I think it'll be good enough.
Yeah, do we have to say much else? Is there anyone else you want to?
No.
Yeah. No. 18 races in to get to that. I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. Let's get to the Paris Lane Stakes, which closes the day with the 1,400 metres. How are you going to take us home, Beaver?
Yeah, look, I'm going to take us home on the favourite here, Asa. I think this is the weakest field that it's faced this time in. Both fourths have been pretty good in good quality. It was only a length off Sierra Sue, Dice Roll in the Group 1 last start. That's pretty good form for this race. And then prior to that, probably over the 1,200 that wasn't as suitable at Moonee Valley, ran really well as well. Gets out now, handles the Flemington track. This looks like a good race for it. It's drawn in the 5. Jai McNeil's a good booking here. And this is a pretty weak affair. So I think ASAR can win this. And yeah, there's plenty of value in it. But I couldn't really split the value. If you took ASAR out of this race, I probably wouldn't be betting. So yeah, that's why I've got ASAR on top.
Yeah, Ace, you mentioned the close-up in the Rupert Clark. It was the best of the on-pace runners. The 3-horse speed home were all swoopers, which sets up nicely for this. And I agree. Main bet here for me. I'll probably have something small, Tavi Dance off the trial, coming back here, just a bit of fresh blood. But yeah, once you start getting through the rest, you can make small cases for Mavada and all those sort of horses. But yeah, leave me with ASAR and we'll keep it nice and simple. And I'll give you the floor for the Flemington Quaddie.
The Flemington Quaddie. All right, here we go. first leg, the Furphy Rose of Kingston. We will have numbers 1, 2, 7, 8, and 9.
Yep.
The second leg, we will go numbers 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
The third leg, we will go number 2, 3, 5, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. We'll go.
Okay. I'll throw Cologne
And
in
we're going to
mine.
finish. We will finish off the last with numbers 1, 2, 3, 9, and 10.
Excellent. For progroutracing.com.au, check them out for their free tips and extensive guides. I'm going to make my best on the day Verry Elleegant. We'll go to Group 1 double for my best here. And my value, let's make it Kalani. Hundreds, keen to have it. I'll back it 25s a place. There we go. What are you doing for your best and value?
Yeah, can't go past Verry Elleegant as well, mate. Hard to beat. And I'm going to go my value in the 5th race, number 10, Mornington Glory. I think it's a good each way chance.
Just in case people think it's a cop-out, Mokaloo will be my other value, just to be sure. Quick one before we get to the King of North, Morville, couple of bets. Race 1, number 1, Karasaku. Race 2, number 1, All Banter. And race 9, number 9, Castle of Kings. What have you got for us in Queensland?
In Queensland, geez, you've done the Morpheville format. Very impressive.
Where do I find the time?
I'll have to go and check those out. Race 3, number 10, Platinum Euros, about $4. Presents a really nice chance up there. My next bet comes up in race 7, number 16, The Face. Expecting it to run well going up to Brizzy. And my next bet is race 8, number 5, Space Boy.
Oh, up there now.
One that I don't mind backing. Yeah, drawn the inside gate back to just the 1,050. Might give them something to chase.
Cool. Very good. It's been show us your tips for progroutracing.com.au. Check them out, as I've said. Jump on our socials. Subscribe. Thanks for sticking around. Subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all that sort of good stuff. And good luck this weekend on a fantastic day of racing. Stay safe. A couple of weeks we can all get out and have a beer. And look forward to seeing everyone on Tuesday night for our midweek preview. Catch you then, punters.